every new generation, he'd come back to guest host. And then we'd ask somebody from that cast, well, who was the guest host you hated most? And they all, not they all, but a lot of them said,
When Gimme a Break first aired, it became a weekly ritual in American homes. But while viewers were falling in love with the Kanisky family, a far more tragic story was quietly unfolding behind the scenes. Few could have imagined that several cast members would later face devastating realities. What went wrong once the cameras stopped rolling? And why did so many lives tied to this beloved show take such unexpected turns? Come with us as we discover the hidden stories of the cast who made Gimme a Break a beloved TV show. Number 28. The critic who wanted to sue NBC. When Gimme a Break first aired, Tom Shales, a critic for the Washington Post, wrote a very harsh review. He said, "I wish I could take NBC to court for the upset, stomach problems, and deep sighs I have felt because of Gimme a Break." He criticized the show's jokes and what he thought were racial stereotypes in Carter's character. He ended with a strong statement. "If I believed television could get much worse than this, I don't think I would want to watch it again." However, the New York Times liked the show, which led to different opinions about it during its time on air. While critics were arguing about the show's quality in newspapers, the cast was getting ready for one of the scariest moments in TV history. Number 27. The live episode that nearly went wrong. On February 23, 1985, the cast acted out the episode Cat Story live on NBC, which scared everyone. During the show, Dolph Sweet, who was sick with cancer and looked very thin, forgot his last line to Nell Carter and had to stop for a few awkward seconds to remember it. The audience was really nervous.
Last night I had a dream where I turned down Harry Belafonte for some strawberry cheesecake.
But Sweet remembered his line and saved the show. This episode was shown just 2 months before Sweet passed away, making it one of his last times on screen and a sad reminder of how cancer affected him. While the live episode became a memorable television moment, another running gag from the show's early days would reveal the writer's darker sense of humor. Number 26. Gertrude the Goldfish's running gag. The Kanisky family's goldfish, Gertrude, died in the very first episode of the series, but the show turned this into an ongoing joke that lasted throughout the first season. Gertrude kept mysteriously coming back in subsequent episodes, dying again and again in various ways, with the family never quite acknowledging the pattern.
That chicken Hawaii you cooked is about ready. Where do you want to eat it? In the kitchen or in the living room?
In Honolulu.
It became one of the show's earliest running gags, though it was eventually dropped as the series moved toward more serious storylines in later seasons. But while Gertrude's deaths provided comic relief for audiences, young Joey Lawrence was getting an education that would shape his entire career. Number 25. Joey Lawrence's secret training ground. When he wasn't filming Gimme a Break, young Joey Lawrence traveled with Nell Carter, performing at different places around the country. These trips were great practice for him as a young actor, helping him learn how to be confident on stage and perform live, skills that would help him in his career.
Hello down there.
Hi,
What can I do for you?
I'm collecting for Jerry's kid.
Lawrence learned a lot from Carter's Broadway skills and performance style, basically getting a special lesson in entertainment from one of the best in the business. While Lawrence was learning from one of television's brightest stars, another character was about to vanish from the show without explanation. Number 24. The mysterious disappearance of Swackhammer. In the 1982 to 1983 season, the Kanisky family often had trouble with Irwin J. Swackhammer, a character played by Jack Fletcher. He showed up in 5 episodes as different bad guys. In his most famous role, Swackhammer worked for the phone company and got Nell arrested and put in jail.
Nell, you know I hate doing this. Samantha, what did you have to start this trouble for?
After 5 episodes, the character suddenly disappeared from the show without any reason given. No one ever said why this character, who appeared several times, was just dropped so quickly. The character who kept disappearing wasn't the only confusing thing for viewers. The show also had trouble figuring out where its made-up town was supposed to be. Number 23. The confusion about Glen Lawn's location. The show often gave confusing details about where the made-up town of Glen Lawn was in California. In one episode from Season 3, it said Glen Lawn was more than 300 miles away from Santa Barbara. But in another episode from the same season, the chief bragged that a new police car could reach Sacramento in just 23 minutes.
Well, you see, I have this friend who's trying to quit smoking, just like I'm trying to lose weight.
The confusing details suggest that Glen Lawn is close to Stockton, but later seasons show Katie moving to San Francisco and Julie going to San Jose, which means they are near the Bay Area. The show never explained these geography problems. Even though the show's locations were confusing, one thing was clear: Nell Carter was in every episode. Number 22. Nell Carter was the only cast member in every episode. Nell Carter was special because she was the only actor to be in all 137 episodes of the show, which lasted 6 seasons. Even Dolph Sweet, who was the second main actor, missed some episodes because he was sick with cancer. Nell's perfect record showed how much she cared about the show, and the producers knew they couldn't replace her as the main character. Even though Carter was always there in every episode, other characters changed in strange ways that confused the audience. Number 21. Rosetta Lenoir's character. Name changed completely. Nell's mother first showed up in Season 1 during Nell Goes Home, and in Season 3's A Kanisky Christmas. Her name was Emma, and she was played by Hilda Haynes. Emma was nice and spoke softly. When Rosetta Lenoir took over the role in Season 4's Alabama Bound, the character changed to Maybelle Mama Harper. She became a strict, angry, and very critical mother who always put her daughter down. The big change in her name and personality was never explained to the audience. The changes to characters on screen were matched by equally dramatic changes happening behind the scenes in the production offices. Number 20. The show's production company merger mid-series. Alan Landsberg Productions made the first 4 seasons of Gimme a Break. In 1985, the company joined with Reeves Entertainment Group, which started making the show from then on. Because of this change, the ending credits of the show changed too. The Reeves Entertainment Group logo replaced the Alan Landsberg logo when the show was shown in reruns, and sometimes the end music got cut off. Later, DVD versions added back up to 2 minutes of scenes from each episode that viewers hadn't seen since the show first aired on TV. The changes in the company were not as important as the amazing life story of the main actor, which most viewers didn't know about. Number 19. Dolph Sweet's World War II. Prisoner of War Past. Few viewers knew that before becoming an actor, Dolph Sweet had survived one of the most harrowing experiences imaginable. During World War II, Sweet served as a navigator on B-24 Liberator bombers with the 8th Air Force. His plane was shot down over Romania during Operation Tidal Wave, and Sweet spent 2 years as a prisoner of war.
It's James. Oh! Oh!
Calm down. Don't be so anxious. Go upstairs and make him wait.
Why?
In a German camp. While imprisoned, he joined other POWs in staging short plays, which sparked his interest in acting and ultimately led to his post-war career on stage and screen. Sweet's wartime heroism made him a beloved figure, but few realized just how popular the show he starred in had become with a specific audience. Number 18. The show's third-place status among non-white viewers. In February 1983, a poll showed that Gimme a Break was the third most popular show for non-white viewers, coming in after Dynasty and the A-Team, but ahead of the Jeffersons and Dallas. This popularity showed that the show connected well with black audiences, who felt represented by Nell Carter's strong main character, even though some critics argued that the show might still support old stereotypes about black domestic workers. The show's success with diverse audiences was perhaps fitting, given that one cast member had spent her entire life fighting for racial equality in entertainment. Number 17. Rosetta Lenoir's legendary godfather. Rosetta Lenoir, who played Mama Harper, had a special link to entertainment history. Her godfather was Bill Bojangles Robinson, a famous tap dancer. When she was a young girl, Lenoir had rickets, a disease that made her bones soft and her legs bent. Robinson helped her get better by teaching her to dance, which made her stronger and excited her about performing, leading to an amazing 70-year career. Lenoir would use the success she achieved from that career to change the entertainment industry itself. Number 16. The Emma's Theater Company's historic impact. Rosetta Lenoir spent a lot of the money she earned from Gimme a Break and other jobs to help a theater company she started in 1968 with her own savings. The Emma's Repertory Theater Company in New York City focused on casting people of different races and putting on shows with many different cultures. They wanted to create a place where everyone's talent was noticed, no matter their race, beliefs, skin color, religion, or where they came from. The company produced over 60 original musicals, many going on to Broadway success, and President Bill Clinton awarded Lenoir the National Medal of Arts in 1999 for her decades of activism. While Lenoir was building a legacy of inclusion, another cast member was fighting a very different battle for survival. Number 15. Nell Carter's near-fatal brain aneurysm. In 1992, after the show ended and before she passed away, Nell Carter had a serious brain problem called an aneurysm. She needed 2 emergency surgeries to stay alive. The doctors thought it was amazing that she survived, especially since she was already dealing with type 2 diabetes and the effects of using illegal substances for many years. Nell got better enough to keep working, but the surgeries caused problems that made her health worse. She never got back to how she was before the aneurysm. Carter's determination to keep working, despite her health struggles, mirrored the show itself, which continued long past when many believed it should have ended. Number 14. The show quietly ended its network run. Even though Gimme a Break was popular for a long time, it ended quietly instead of with excitement. In the 6th season, the show moved to New York, got rid of most of the original cast, and added new characters. But these changes didn't improve the ratings or the show's creativity. The show changed time slots a lot in its last season and ended quietly in May 1987 without any big celebration or final episode. NBC just let it go away. Just weeks after the series finale aired, tragedy struck the cast in a way that seemed almost impossible in its timing. Number 13. Pete Shrum died 1 month after Nell Carter. Pete Shrum, who played Uncle Ed, Carl's brother, in 9 episodes, died from a heart attack on February 17, 2003, at the age of 68. This was just a few weeks after Nell Carter passed away on January 23, 2003. Pete was a tall comic actor who mainly played Uncle Ed for laughs. There were memorable episodes when Ed asked his brother for a kidney and when Grandpa wanted Ed to marry his girlfriend. The timing of their deaths was a strange coincidence for 2 actors who had worked together years before. The unfortunate timing of these deaths seemed to echo a curse that some cast members believed plagued the show from the beginning. Number 12. The cast's Saturday night time slot curse. Gimme a Break aired primarily on Saturday nights throughout its run, which some cast members and crew believed was a curse. Saturday has historically been one of television's lowest viewership nights, with audiences out socializing rather than watching TV. The show might have achieved even greater success with a weeknight slot, but NBC kept it relegated to Saturday, where it competed with people's social plans rather than other television shows. Despite the time slot challenges, one actress who joined the show never expected it to define her legacy the way it ultimately would. Number 11. Nell Carter distanced herself from the show. In a revealing 1988 interview with the New York Times, Nell Carter made her feelings about the show crystal clear. "I don't want to go to my grave being known as the girl from Gimme a Break. That wasn't me. It was just a job." Her attempt to distance herself from the role that made her famous reflected her Broadway aspirations and her desire to be remembered for her Tony Award-winning performance in Ain't Misbehavin', rather than for a sitcom character. Tragically, despite her wishes, she is still most remembered for Gimme a Break. 2 decades after her death, while Carter struggled with the show's legacy, another cast member was finding additional ways to stay in the public eye. Number 10. Howard Morton's perfect game show timing. Howard Morton, who played Officer Simpson, was a frequent game show contestant during his time on Gimme a Break, appearing on popular shows like Super Password and Pyramid. His tall frame, comedic timing, and recognizable face from the sitcom made him a favorite among game show producers. These appearances provided additional income beyond his sitcom salary and kept him in the public eye even during breaks from filming. But while Morton was winning game show prizes, the series itself was creating one of television's most controversial moments. Number 9. The blackface episode that made history. The Season 4 episode, Baby of the Family, became one of television's most controversial moments when Joey Lawrence's character appeared in blackface at Nell's church benefit. TV Land later ranked it number 38 on their list of the 100 most unexpected TV moments. The episode was meant to be funny, and Samantha came up with a plan to get back at Nell. However, using blackface, no matter the reason, brought up a lot of hurtful history. This situation showed that even shows that want to be good can make big mistakes. And people still talk about this episode as an example of how TV dealt with race issues in the 90s. But while this on-screen controversy sparked debates across America, a far more dangerous crisis was unfolding off-camera. Number 8. Nell Carter's habits consumed her paycheck. Nell Carter had a serious problem with cocaine that worried the show's producers. During the 6 years the show was on, she went to rehab several times, but her unusual habits were so bad that she used her weekly paycheck to buy illegal substances. Nell Carter struggled with substance and food problems that made her weight change a lot, which people noticed, but they didn't know how serious her situation was. In 1984, while she was in London visiting Liza Minnelli, Nell tried to take her own life by taking too many sleeping pills and drinking champagne. Liza quickly took her to the Hazelden Clinic in Minnesota, where Nell got help and lost more than 90 pounds. While Carter battled addiction, another cast member was facing a very different enemy, one that would ultimately take his life. Number 7. Dolph Sweet's final performance 3 days before his funeral. Dolph Sweet passed away from stomach cancer on May 8, 1985, at the age of 64. Because of how TV shows are made, his last episode of Gimme a Break was shown just 3 days later on May 11th, which was also the day of his funeral. This strange timing meant that fans were watching him on TV, while his memorial service was happening at St. Bridget of Sweden Church in Van Nuys, California. Nell Carter, who had been at Sweet's bedside in his final moments, delivered the eulogy, while her friend was simultaneously appearing on screens across America one last time. Sweet's death forced the show into a desperate reinvention that would ultimately destroy everything that had made it successful. Number 6. The show moved to New York and abandoned its premise. 5 episodes into Season 6, Gimme a Break made the radical decision to abandon its core premise entirely. Nell, Joey, and Samantha packed up and moved from suburban California to New York City, where Nell took a job as an assistant editor at a publishing company. The move meant saying goodbye to the Kanisky family home, the police station, and everything that had defined the show for 5 years. This desperate reinvention signaled that the show had run out of ideas, and the move to New York couldn't save the series from cancellation less than a full season later. The geographical move wasn't the only drastic change. The cast itself was about to be decimated in a brutal purge. Number 5. The mass firings that destroyed the cast. In Season 6, there were big changes to the cast. Kari Michelson, who had played Katie since the first episode, left the show because her character got a job in San Francisco. Oddly, her hair color changed from blonde to brown. Laurie Hendler, who played Julie, and Howard Morton, who played Officer Simpson, were also let go. The timing was particularly cruel for Michelson, who had just purchased a new house, assuming job security on the successful sitcom. She was completely blindsided by the firing and faced devastating financial implications from losing her steady income while carrying a new mortgage. The cast firings destroyed careers, but nothing could compare to the financial devastation that awaited the show's star. Number 4. Nell Carter died with only $200 to her name. One of the most heartbreaking revelations after Nell Carter's death was the discovery that despite 6 years on a hit sitcom, a Tony Award, Emmy nominations, and steady work in entertainment, she died with barely $200 in her bank account and significant outstanding debts. Her substance dependency had consumed most of her peak earning years, money that should have been saved or invested. 2 failed marriages in the early 90s created additional financial strain, and attempts to launch new television series after Gimme a Break all failed. Morton's By the Bay never gained traction, and You Take the Kids collapsed after 1 month in 1991, leaving Carter with periods of no steady income as her debts continued mounting. While Carter's financial troubles shocked those who knew her, another cast member's death revealed an even more troubling connection to Hollywood history. Number 3. John Hoyt's cancer connection to nuclear testing. John Hoyt, who played Grandpa Stanley for 82 episodes, died of lung cancer in 1991 at age 85. Notably, Hoyt was one of several actors from the 1956 film The Conqueror, who died of cancer years later. That movie, starring John Wayne, Susan Hayward, and Agnes Moorehead, was filmed in an area contaminated with nuclear fallout from nearby atomic testing. A disproportionate percentage of The Conqueror cast and crew eventually died from some form of cancer, leading to speculation about the radiation exposure's long-term effects on everyone involved in that production. Hoyt at least lived a long life before cancer claimed him, but another cast member wasn't nearly as fortunate. Number 2. Howard Morton died 4 days before his birthday. Howard Morton passed away due to problems from a stroke on May 11, 1997, at Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, California. It was especially sad because he died just 4 days before his 72nd birthday, on May 15th. The never-married Morton was survived by a sister, and a memorial service was held at the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. His death at 71 continued the disturbing pattern of Gimme a Break, cast members being taken too soon. Morton's untimely death was tragic, but it paled in comparison to the longevity achieved by the cast member who became a legend in her own right. Number 1. Rosetta Lenoir's death at age 90. Rosetta Lenoir, who brought Mama Harper to life in the show's later seasons, passed away on March 17, 2002, at age 90 at Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck, New Jersey. She died from complications of diabetes and pneumonia while living at the Actors Fund Nursing and Retirement Home. Lenoir's death at 90 made her one of the longest-lived cast members, but even she struggled with diabetes in her final years, the same disease that would contribute to Nell Carter's death less than a year later. Lenoir left behind a son named William Jr., 2 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, along with an incredible legacy through her AMAS theater company. But Lenoir's peaceful passing at an advanced age stood in stark contrast to the horror that awaited Nell Carter's family just months later. Which of these 28 secrets shocked you the most? Did the pressures of television success contribute to the tragedies that claimed so many cast members? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.